Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to join us today. Going to have a great presentation starting here in just a few minutes. We're going to have one of our top producers and one of our national sales coaches, Dave Pimper, join us to go through Social Security claiming, Social Security marketing, Social Security prospecting. Very timely webinar and definitely going to be worth your while. So thank you all for joining us. Before I hand it over to Dave, I'm going to do a couple housekeeping items and then just some brief introductory slides, and then we'll get going into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation. First housekeeping item is in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's our phone number. That number is 800-255-5055. If there is anything that we can do here at IMES to help you in your life or annuity efforts, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Second housekeeping item are going to be polling questions. Looks like I've got two or three polling questions that I will launch throughout the presentation today. If you would be so kind as to just click yes or no on those polling questions, we certainly appreciate everyone's participation. And then the final housekeeping item that I'm going to hit on before the introductory slides are questions. We're going to be on this presentation for probably about 50 minutes today. So we're going to throw quite a bit of information at you in a relatively short period of time. Please, if there are any questions, type them into that questions box. We will certainly do the best we can to get them answered while we're live and in session. And if we can't answer them live, certainly when we do our follow-ups, we will get those answered for you. All right, moving on into the introductory slides. First slide is our new producer builder. If you are new to us here at IMES, or if this is your first introduction to us here at IMES, you are automatically enrolled in this program. This is based on your production within your first 180 days of being licensed with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. As you can see, there are several great levels to qualify at, and inside each of those levels are some really good options for you to choose from. Business building tools, personal perks, even cash rewards available to you. So with that being said, if you'd like to learn more about how New Producer Builder works or want to talk about where you stand, just give your sales director a call here at our office. We can certainly walk you through that. Moving on to business builders. This is something that these two programs are two of our more popular programs that we offer, and every advisor is automatically enrolled in these programs with no cost to you. First is our referred producer program. And I guess you're not enrolled in this, it's available to you. It's the wording I should use. Our business here on the wholesale side of the industry is very similar to yours in the field in that one of the best leads we can ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued clients or you, our valued producers. So we want to make it worth your while to refer an individual to us. If you refer an individual to us when they pick up a contract with us, we're going to send you a $50 thank you check. And now where the real money comes in is moving forward as your referred producer writes business, you're going to receive an override on that business. You can see that percentage down there. We cut these checks at least quarterly, sign checks for thousands and thousands of dollars at a time, so it can be very lucrative to you. One thing to note about this is you are receiving an override. It's not affecting your referred producer's commissions. So it actually comes out of the IMES end of the pot. So absolutely does not affect you whatsoever. That being said, if you can think of someone that could benefit from working with us at IMES, please give your sales director a call, email me, scott@imesinc.com, or simply type their information into the questions box. We'll do the best we can to get them recruited over and hopefully get you on your way to earning some referred producer dollars. Now below that is our most popular program, and that's marketing reimbursement. Marketing reimbursement, rough numbers, every 100,000 in FIA premium that you place with us, we put $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. What makes this so lucrative is we really consider this to be your money. We're not going to tell you what vendor you have to use. We're not going to cap your account, and we're not going to make you cash out your account at any certain time. If you'd like to know more about how marketing reimbursement works or how much you have available, just give us a call and we'll get that information for you. Back office support, this is the heart of who we are here at IMES. You're going to experience some great business building tools, of course, our case design and quoting systems that are available, forms at your fingertips, our submission to commission support with our new business team scrubbing and submitting apps for you, the top sales expertise and coaching you're about to experience, And then, of course, we are on the SuranceBay platform, so paperless contracting. If you'd like to learn more about any of these bullet points, just let us know. Firelight, definitely want to hit on this. Online apps, e-apps are becoming more and more relevant, and you can do it with a single sign-on to IMSinc.com. You can see many of the carriers we have available, more coming soon. If you'd like to learn more about the e-app system and how you can access Firelight system at no cost to you whatsoever, give your sales director here at IMS a call. We can certainly get you loaded up in there and get you access to that. Creative marketing solutions. We do have an in-house creative team here. Certainly we are very, very good at helping our advisors market themselves, market their practice. We can do it, traditional marketing strategies, digital solutions, all available to you. To access IMS Creative, all you have to do is reach out to whomever you're working with on the sales team. Let them know there's something you want to take a look at. We can start that process for you and get you in contact with IMS Creative. Our website, I mentioned it earlier with Firelight, definitely want you to know it's available out there, imsinc.com. If you haven't created an account at imsinc.com, I'd highly encourage you to do so as soon as we're off this meeting. A lot of great stuff available to you beyond the Firelight, quote tools, forms online, industry news, all available to you there. So definitely, if you haven't created an account, go do so as soon as we're done with this presentation. Retirement Analyzer, as we hear all this stuff out in the ethos about regulatory environment and possible regulation changes, something like the Retirement Analyzer, where it can help you make product recommendations and show why you made those product recommendations, definitely a tool you want to have available to you. The reason why I like Retirement Analyzer so much is it's also a closing tool, in my opinion, because it's very easy for clients to understand what you're showing them, and the Retirement Analyzer makes it very, very easy to see how you are bettering their position, so it'll help you close more sales. Marcus Solar in our office is our point man for Retirement Analyzer. If you'd like to learn more about it, just give Marcus a call, and he can certainly get you more information on that. I'm going to launch our first polling question of the day as I talk briefly about IMS Wealth Management. What's going to happen if you click yes? You're going to get an automated email, and then Duncan or Sarah, possibly Joan or Mike from our wealth management team will give you a call just to kind of walk you through it. We have had IMS Wealth Management open about 3 years now. Seen a lot of really strong organic growth with it. We've got a great fee structure over there, a great technology platform, and of course a great investment platform, all available to you. I definitely say if you are an existing IAR, click yes, kick the tires of IMS Wealth, see what we can offer for you and for your clients. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you're not, if you are not an IAR, if you don't have AUM in your line of authority, I'd tell you to click yes. It's definitely something, a way that the business is trending, and we've got some great training partners out there where we can help you schedule the Series 65 exam, study for the Series 65 exam, and pass the Series 65 exam on your first go round. If you have any questions on that, let us know. That being said, I'm going to close down this poll and move on so we can get to Dave here a little quicker. Yeah, if you haven't clicked yes or no, please do so, and we'll be moving on here. Thank you, everybody. All right, let's see if we can get moving forward there. There we go. Oh, fun topic. We are in the qualification period for the Top Producer Summit. We are going on a Mediterranean cruise next August. Really excited. Well, not next August, but August of 21. Or 22, we're in 21. Qualification runs through next June, June of 22. So a lot of time to qualify, 4.5 million credits. If you want to know where you stand, want to talk about what we can do to help you get over the top, let us know. This is going to be our highest attended marketing summit of all time. We're really excited to have a big group there and excited for you to be a part of it. Last plug before I hand it over to Dave. If you aren't following us on social media, throw us a like or a connect, Facebook, LinkedIn. We put a lot of really neat information out via social media, things that I think you could rebrand for your clientele, for your practice. So definitely throw us a like and a follow. We certainly want to connect with you on social media. That being said, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Pimper. Now, Dave, can you hear us?
Absolutely.
Hey, buddy, how we doing
Hey,
today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm
Uh,
going to give you control. I just clicked the button, so you should have it here. Ladies and gentlemen, on one of our top producers and national sales coach, Mr. Dave Pimper.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, and thanks for everybody for on a Tuesday for being on this webinar. This is going to take about 35 minutes. So this is not going to be a long webinar. I go through the information on Social Security faster than, of course, if we were coaching one-on-one. Just a little bit of a background on myself. I'm from Fremont, Nebraska, and that's where my office is, 30 miles outside of Omaha. I also have an Omaha registered office. I do both fixed index annuity fixed. We have a Medicare side of our shop now that Sam, my son, runs, and then the rest really is investments. And so my expertise really lies around Social Security claiming, and then I work with the pre-retired or just retired crowd. I like to market. I do a lot of seminars. We've got our I did some virtual seminars for Social Security. Had some success, not great success. I mean, it paid for itself and made a little money. We did 5 of them in the last 12 months. We have our first face-to-face seminar here in Fremont. Is going to be on the 3rd week of May, so it's coming up in 3.5 weeks, and we're excited for that. And seminars are really opening up now. We also do a show called Retirement Boss Radio. I put that together. Out of my 40 years in the industry, I've got 30 years of where I either had a radio show or a radio program. And I've tried all types of radio, but this hour radio show, I mean, just like last week, I mean, if I can get 2-3 appointments a week, I'm pretty darn happy. And I got 5 last week, 5 set appointments set for me. People call in, and we have a call center, inbound call center, high-end inbound call center that's high touch. That sets all the appointments off of the electronic calendar we have. So those are different ways you can learn Social Security. Also, if you want to learn, we could just do it a la carte. I mean, you pay me $800, and I'm going to coach you up on Social Security. And you probably ask yourself, well, how do I make money from Social Security? It's probably one of the greatest inroads to talk to people about their money, because very few advisors really understand Social Security claiming. Only 1 in 10. And you know what? Only 3 in 100 clients really understand Social Security claiming. So, and you know what? 95 or 94% of all Americans get a Social Security benefit eventually. It's a commodity. Not everybody needs a fixed index annuity. Not everybody needs that. That's why, and I wasn't always in the Medicare business, but you know what? People at the age of 65, as long as they get a Social Security benefit, yeah, they get Medicare A and Medicare B. And then where do we come in? Of course, you know, most of them want a supplement, or an advantage plan. They can get a benefit in most places for zero, for zero monthly cost. So I like the types of things that are commodity types of financial planning tools, and Social Security happens to be just one of those. So we're going to start and like I said, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly today, but you have to ask yourself why you, the advisor, or you, the insurance agent, should understand Social Security claiming. So let's kind of go into that. If you have any questions, certainly type them in, and we'll be more than happy to answer those for you when we get done. This is a quote from Sarah O'Brien from CNBC. Most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. And they say advisors, I'm not just talking about the Merrill Lynch guys and gals, UBS, Edward Jones, Northwestern Mutual, Prudential, MetLife, Independent. I'm talking about lawyers, CPAs, bankers. Yeah, only 1 out of 10 really understand it, and it may be even less than that. It might, in our business, it might be 1 out of even 15 really know Social Security. So you can place, it says a majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor. Wild. So here's a test, and we're going to take a test today. So and we got a bunch of people on the webinar right now. So let's take this test. I mean, let's be legitimate. If you need to guess, guess. But let's see how you do. There's 5 questions. So this comes right from Simply Wise. It's an online financial website. Christy Bieber was the author of this back in 2020. And this is word for word, except for my little, how about you, the financial advisor agent? Yeah, I put that in. But a Social Security test, only 1 in 300 seniors could ace. How about you, the financial advisor? There are 5 questions, but they're crucial. So let's go in and let's go through these questions and let's see how you do. Here we go. This is quiz question number 1. We're back to school. Do it with me. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim the benefits? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks or your Social Security benefit, at what age must you claim the benefit? I want a specific age. What's the age? Write it down. Play this game with me, this quiz with me. Here we go. Most people are going to say full retirement age. That is incorrect. It's age 70. You can let yours grow with delayed retirement credits after full retirement age. If you're going from 43 to 54, it's 66 years of age. Then it goes steps up 2 months up to 67. But to maximize it, wait till age 70. That's the answer. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? You know what it is? 60. There's a 28.5% discount. You only get 71.5%, but you can get it as early as 60. All right? Question number 3, does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yes or no? Does she or not? Does he or not? Of course, it's gender neutral. Here we go. Yep, you got to. Question 4, can divorced spouses receive a spousal benefit? Yes or no? Can a divorced spouse receive spousal benefits? Here we go. Ready? If I can click this, here we go. Yep, you can. And it's if 4 stipulations are met. So if you guessed yes, you're right. But now you got to name 2 of the 4 stipulations. What has to be met for that divorced spouse to receive a spousal benefit? You got to guess 2 of the 4. 2 of the 4. Here we go. You know what they are? Well, first of all, the marriage had to last at least 10 years. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62. Divorce was 2 years or longer. So if you got 2 of the 4 of those, I'm going to give you that answer right. If you guessed yes and got 2 of the 4 right. If not, didn't get it right. Next question. Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Yes or no? List it. Here we go. Yep. If 4 stipulations are met. And I should make you get all 4 of those, but I'm not. If you get 2 of those stipulations, then, and again, I'm going to give that to you because remember what they are? For anything that's divorced, you have to be currently unmarried. Marriage lasted for 10 years. X is at least 62. Divorce has been 2 years or longer. How'd you do on that quiz? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you got them all right, great. I mean, you know what? I mean, you don't need coaching. If you got 4, you know what? You know a lot about Social Security. If you didn't guess at the answers. If you got 3 or less, you got some understanding, but probably coaching could help you a lot. This comes from USA Today. I love that. This is like a drain that just sucks the money down. Janet Heron from USA Today in July of 2019 wrote this, and this is word for word. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. I want to say that again. Doing this one thing with your Social Security can mean losing $100,000 in retirement. Bullet point 1, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Bullet point 2, retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household. Why? Because they took benefits at the wrong time. That's over their lifetime. They took benefits at the wrong time. And bullet point 3, overall, this is the wildest statistic. Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. That means 96% took at the wrong time. Why? Probably half of those is because they just didn't know the difference. They didn't know the ins and outs of when to claim and how to maximize. And the other half, they're just going to take it because they wanted to, or they had a reason, like they were going to probably die early, or they got some kind of health problems, or they need money right now. Yeah, but over half of those is because they weren't educated up, and that's what we do as advisors and agents. Just kind of a trip down memory lane. Social Security was started in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt by the Social Security Act. 1937, it went up to the Supreme Court because they said it was they tried to knock it down, and it did not, luckily. In 1940, first check to Ida Mae Fuller. Age 65 was the only date you could take Social Security. So Social Security started at 65. And it's the only date you could take it. The average age back then of livelihood was age 62. What a deal. You lived to 62 and died, but you get your Social Security at 65, if you're living. And under John F. Kennedy in 1961, they started lowering the age to as low as 62, could take it at a reduced benefit. A few years later, you could wait longer at a higher. Now, the two ages are 62 and 70. Earliest you could take is 62, individual benefit. Latest is 70, with some exceptions, of course, with disability, etc., and death. In 1975, automatic cost of living adjustments were added to every single Social Security benefit. And if you think about it, do you know what the COLA is for this year? Any idea? 1.3%. Last year, 1.6. Year before, 2.8. Year before, 2%. Since 1975. And that's a long time ago. That's a long, long time ago. But in those 35, 40 years, what happens is that there's only been 3 years where there hasn't been a Social Security raise through COLA adjustment. 2010, 2011, and 2016. It was not taxed before 83. That's when taxation came into effect if you made above certain income brackets. And those brackets, interesting, have never changed since 83. So not many people was taxed on Social Security at the beginning, but a lot of people are taxed on Social Security now. It was up to 50% of your benefit in 1993, up to 85% of your benefit. And the last significant change in the Social Security claiming laws and rules was in 1915, 6 years ago, in the Bipartisan Budget Act, where they did away with file and suspend in 6 months, and they phased out restricted application, which I'll talk about. And they phased it out over 8 years. To take restricted application, you have to be born before January the 2nd of 1954. If you're younger than that, like I was born in 55, yep, I lost out on $21,000 in free money. It's just one of those things that happen, as I cried myself to sleep. How important is Social Security? That's darn important. 59% of all retirees count their Social Security benefit to be the major, not just a income source, but the major source of income, more so than 401ks, savings, pensions. You bet. So Social Security 101 is simple. I mean, you got 3 ages or dates that are important. What's the first age you can start to collect an individual benefit? Age 62. What about if you want to collect at 61? Can't do it. Cannot do it. 62 is the earliest. What age must you start claiming Social Security, or you just lose your benefit? Age 70. Those 8 years. And what happens in this full retirement age is the age in the middle. So if you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. I was born in 55. It steps up 2 months. My full retirement age is 66 years and 2 months. Okay? If you're born in 56, 4 months. 57, 6 months, etc. The 67 is the oldest full retirement age available right now. Could that change? You darn right it could. But it isn't as of now. If you take earlier than full retirement age, what's the benefit for that? You get a benefit now. It helps your income stream. What's the negative? It is reduced for life. What happens if you take over wait to take your benefit after full retirement age? Every single year you wait, your benefit grows a guaranteed 8% by Social Security Administration. 8% guaranteed by the government. Where can you do that in any type of an annuity? There's not. A guarantee by the government with an inflation hedge, with a spousal benefit, a divorced benefit, a disability benefit? No. It's the greatest pension ever. And just to let you know what a big deal it is, if you average 3% inflation, and we've been lowering that of late, but long term it's around 3% has been the average. Let's say that you've got a $2,000 benefit and you take it at a 25% reduction at age 62, the difference of that benefit between the ages of 62 and 70, if you wait 8 years, it basically doubles. So if you're getting a $1,500 benefit at age 62, you'd have got a $3,000 benefit for the rest of your life at age 70. If you had a $2,000 benefit at 62 after the deduction, it would have grown to $4,000 if you would have waited to 70. Your money doubles in those 8 years under the delayed retirement credit and figuring around 3% inflation. It's a big, big deal for lifetime income with people living as long as they are. If you got a question, certainly type them in. Social Security can have a huge value, but you know what? It's claiming at your right time. And I make an emphasis on this, everyone on the line with me today, claiming at your right time, not claiming at the right time or claiming at a right time, but claiming at the individuals. They're like snowflakes. Everybody is different on their claiming needs. Now, I can't tell you enough. I've always been a pretty strong producer. I'm very consistent, and I have been through the years. But there hasn't been a facet in my business that hasn't been improved since I've learned Social Security claiming 10 years ago. And I talk about it all the time. But you can learn Social Security from us and through IAMS, the FMO, in one of three ways. First of all, we're doing Social Security seminars right now. Just got done down in Kansas and in Texas, in Florida. I'm doing my first one in Nebraska in 3 weeks, face to face. I mean, everything's opening up. People are hungry for this information. They haven't gotten much of it during the pandemic years. They're tired of being cooped up. $2,500 for a Social Security seminar. We hope that we can get you 10 appointments out of that. I coach you Social Security. I coach you up on the seminar itself. You can use me as long as you're contracted through IAMS. You're doing business there. You can use me within reason, often as you want to. I always say use me, don't abuse me. But any of your questions, Social Security questions, that's one way. So IAMS pays me. They pay me to coach you. Doesn't cost you a thing. It's part of the $2,500. How about Retirement Boss Radio? Have you ever thought about being your own radio host? I'm telling you. I got a guy coming in right now, flying in from California. I'll see him. That doesn't happen too often, but he wanted to see my operation, wanted to see me go in and record it. I call it my studio. It's in my office. I have a little studio, headphones and box and professional mic. But he wanted to see the operation. I will tell you right now, radio's hot. Can't catch the virus over the airwaves. Impossible. I had 5 set appointments last week from radio. 5. I've had months where I've had over 20 appointments. I'm telling you what, Retirement Boss Radio, if you want, it's called www.retirementbossradio.com. You can kind of hear the podcasts and get the white paper and so forth. That's our website. But we coach you up on Social Security, because that's about a third of all the business and appointments we have are around Social Security. So I'll just tell you, it's pretty dynamic. I am against stipends me for coaching Social Security. That's part of the program that can run anywhere per month for an hour show with a co-host on the Saturday or Sunday. Runs from $2,500 to probably $4,500. $3,000 to $4,000 is probably the average cost for a week, for a month of being on the radio each week. That's paid, and then there's a la carte. If you just want to learn Social Security claiming, Dave, I don't want to market. I don't have the money to market, but I can see how this can help my practice. Yeah, $200 a session, 4 sessions, $800. You're going to know much more about Social Security when we get done coaching. I learned it myself, and it was hard. If I wish I had someone there that could ask questions, and how about this, or what I read, I have questions marked by. That's what a coach does to help you. Social Security Trust Fund did run a surplus last year of $3 billion. When they talk about Social Security going out of, going bankrupt, they're talking about the trust fund. Social Security can't go bankrupt, but it's a pay-as-you-go system. The 6.2% that the employee pays, the 6.2% the employer pays, yeah, that 12.4%, that is automatically taken with payroll taxes. But if that runs short, which it hasn't since 1983, but it very well may in 2020, and then forward it probably is going to, with all the baby boomers taking money. But it did run a deficit in 2018. We're not sure about 2019 and 20 because the figures aren't out yet. There's ways that they'll shore it up. It'll either be increase the full retirement age, or there'll be some taxation, which I'm not in favor of, but there'll probably be something of both to come together. Yeah, it's a pay-as-you-go system. Does the government borrow against those special issue bonds that are purchased? It's $1 trillion a year that comes in for Social Security money that is paid out. All but $3 billion was paid out last year. But you know what? Your money in your pocket, your currency, is backed by an IOU, the federal government. The exact same thing that Social Security is. Now, I'm not concerned at all. It's not a Ponzi scheme, some people want to say. You need 40 quarters of coverage. 40 quarters of coverage. So each quarter is $1,470. So if you make $1,470, you just earned yourself a quarter of coverage. You can get a maximum of 4 of those a year. You need 10 years or 40 quarterly credits to get a Social Security benefit. If you have 39, you don't get one. If you have 40, you do get one. Social Security Administration, average your highest 35 years of earnings, and that's inflation adjusted. So just because, like myself, my first year out of college was 1978, I sold cars for my dad. In 1978, I got out in 77, my first full year was 78. I made almost $18,000 that year. And you know what? I maxed out Social Security. Just like the max this year, 142,000, like 142,300, like maxing out Social Security this year, even though it didn't seem like it then, but I was, yeah. Don't you love that dog? Yeah, full retirement age, remember? Age 66 to 67. Discounted with, whether you're 66 or 67, it's either 25 or 30% discounted if you take as early as 62, and then it goes up from there. If you wait longer than full retirement age, it grows exactly 8% a year, plus whatever cost of living. Now, I've said this before, but if you know 5 things in Social Security, you're cooking. If you know how the individual benefit works, the spousal benefit works, divorced spouse, survivor, and restricted application. You know those 4? I'm going to tell you right now, you'll know 85% of all questions that are thrown at you. And the other 15, just call me. I'll probably know them. If I don't, I'll go up on the POMS, the Program Operational Manual System for Social Security, and I'll find the answer and call you back. It's nice to have that in your hip pocket. If you can be the Social Security expert, I was going to tell you, most advisors don't know Social Security because how are they going to make money with that? But you open up their entire portfolio, you see all their assets that they have. I do something on a fact finder called the 5 pillars of income. I find out what their income is. I find out if they have any pensions. This is the golden one. I find out if they have any income producing assets. That could be like 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, Roth, bank accounts, real estate, life insurance, alimony, inheritance, anything they can pull an income from. Yeah, I'm looking for assets. Then I do traditional IRAs on the RMDs that are now at 72, and because of the Secure Act last year, and how Social Security goes in and complements those. So let's talk about Social Security spousal benefit. PIA, like Dave's in the middle of the screen there, PIA stands for primary insurance amount. Dave's is $2,400. Amy's is $1,000. Dave and Amy both collect at full retirement age. So let's say there's no discounting. They're both 66. Yep. Dave gets his $2,400. Amy has an option. She can take all of her $1,000, or she can take half of Dave's benefit. What's higher, $1,000 or half of $2,400? Half of $2,400. This is done automatically. You don't have to request it. It's done automatically for you. And how it breaks down in 2 parts. She gets $1,000 of her own benefit and $200 of a Social Security top-up benefit. Now, if Dave, this was one of the quiz questions, remember, probably most of you got it wrong. If Dave doesn't take his benefit because he's going to wait till 70 or 69 or 68 to take it, but Amy wants hers, now she just has she has one option to take hers. She can't take half a Dave's because he hasn't started his yet. So let's say he waits to 70. Let's say it grows from 2,400 to 3,400. He starts his. She doesn't get half of the 3,400. She gets half of only what it was at full retirement age. You cannot get spousal benefits on the 8% delayed retirement credits. See how this starts to be a lot of spinning of plates there? Divorce spouse benefits. Remember, this has to be asked for. Different than spousal. That's done automatically. So remember the 4 things? Marriage had to last at least 10 years. Current spouse is at least 62 or older. Remember that? Those 2 things? Yeah. So what happens here, the ex has to be at least 62. The current spouse is unmarried. Divorce lasted at least 4 years, or at least 2 years. If all those things line up, you can use your spouse as if you're still married to them in the eyes of Social Security Administration. Why is that important? It's important because married couple have a lot more options available to them many times than single people. Have to ask for it. Okay? Survivor benefits. That has to be asked for also. Okay? I think it's important to remember, if you don't ask, you don't receive. It's kind of biblical. Let's say Dave's benefits $2,000 and Amy's benefits $1,200. Who normally dies first? Yeah, the guy does. My mom is 97 years old. My dad died 16 years ago. My mom found a new boyfriend. Dean, I love him. He's 97. They've dated now for 10 years. People are living longer. But my mom gets my dad's benefit. When my mom barely had a benefit. She just had barely 40 hours. She was a stay-at-home mom for most of her life with us, the kids. Yeah. She worked some before. She worked some after. She did have a benefit, but my dad had a much bigger. And when my mom died, she let her benefit go, and she jumped up to my father's. It's a big deal. And my mom thought she might marry this guy, but she didn't want to lose Dad's benefit. I told her, Mom, if you're 60 or over, you can remarry, and you don't have to give up, your first husband's benefits who's deceased. You can keep his, or you can go to your new husband. But you have to be at the age of 60 or over. Also with survivor benefits, you can take as early as 60 with a 28.5% discount. But here's the cool thing, is that the discount, if you take early, you can go in and say take the widow's benefit, but you can go in and let yours grow all the way up to the age of 70 with no discounting at all. How cool is that? Pretty darn cool. Coordinating spousal benefits, remember restricted application? But I said if you're born January 2nd or before, so you got to be 67 years and, like 67 years and 4 or 5 months. If you're not that old, you can't do this. Both of them don't have to be husband and wife, just the person requesting it, the older, okay? So, and this is complicated, but I go through it much slower when we're actually coaching. And if you know this, great. But say Dave and Amy are both 66, full retirement age, FRA. Dave's PIA, primary insurance amount, that's the amount at full retirement age. His is 24, and Amy's PIA, primary insurance amount, is $1,000. Amy wants money coming into her, so she files for her $1,000, which has to be done on this scenario. Dave wants to wait to 70, so that's great. But he can do something called a little-known secret called restricted application, as long as he's born before January 2nd in 1954. Amy doesn't have to be. She just has to be 62. The person requesting it, doing the restricted, has to be born before January 2nd in 1954. What happens is he starts his benefit and then he stops it. In the eyes of Social Security, it's a started benefit, even though he's earning delayed retirement credits all the way up to 70 each year. He can reach out and take a spousal benefit from Amy. A spousal benefit is always half of that spouse's benefit. Amy's benefit's $1,000, half of that's $500. That $500 times 12 is $6,000 a year. That's free money. Get a load of this. 0.7% of all people who could benefit from restricted application use it. I just had one. And I'm not kidding you on this. It was just, I wish I had it taped because I'd be playing it right now. But I met with her. She had Social Security questions. She had brought some statements in because we request that they do that. I asked her what she wanted to accomplish. It really was just Social Security. But I did restrict it. She had no idea she could do that. Her husband actually was born in December the 10th of 1953. And she just retired and took her benefit 4 months ago. Well, I found it was an extra $10,200 a year. $10,200 a year. And she should have done it 4 months ago, so we retroed the benefit of restricted, which you can do up to 6 months. We retroed it so that he can, once you're full retirement age, you can do that. Not under, once you're full. So her husband retroed, and I got him a check for $3,200. I'm not kidding you, and this is a true story because it sounds like I'm making it up. She looks at me and she said, she has her statements in hand, puts them in front of me. She goes, you know what? I want you to be my financial advisor. No kidding. Scout's honor. I'm not a scout, but I should be. That was a wild, I love that. Yeah. So we have a second appointment to go fact find on $331,000. All right. Any questions, type them on in. And we're getting almost to the end here. You know what Social Security personnel can and cannot do? They can't give you advice. So when someone says, yeah, I send them to Social Security to get advice, they can get the highest benefit they're entitled to right now, but they cannot give advice. It comes right from the program's Social Security Administrational Guide, the program's operational manual, systems, POMS. Yeah, read D. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. We give advice. They don't give advice. Social Security is not a standalone income stream. Social Security is the most flexible of all income streams, claiming at your right time, not the right time, but your right time. And don't forget about the survivor benefit, because that's huge when you think about break-evens. Those are the 5 pillars of income: wages, pensions, income-producing assets, RMDs on traditionals at 72, and how Social Security complements that. I will tell you right now, Social Security is absolutely the worst water cooler talk there is, corporate water cooler talk there is. Hey, Dave, I took Social Security at 62 and you should too. Hey, Dave, I took Social Security at 70 and you should too. That's like saying, hey, Dave, I love the color violet and you should too. No, everyone's unique, individual. They have their own reasons. It's very, very specialized. It's a great subject to know, uncovers an amazing amount of money for me and the people that really understand Social Security claiming. So there's just a lot to consider, a lot of different kind of benefits to claim. Remember I said there's 3 ways you can learn Social Security from us. If you have any questions, type them in. We'll answer them here quickly. But seminar marketing is paid for by IAMS. And Social Security seminars are earning $2,500, and we hope we can get 10, 12 appointments out of that. If you're not marketing, you're not getting new people on your book of business. You need to. Retirement Boss Radio, we have a lot of cities that are still open, but it's a turnkey hour radio show hosted by you or me, and we have a co-host, and he's very good at what he does. And for $3,000-4,000 a month, that's probably the average all in of what it costs. So that could be something that's if your area's 100,000 population and above, and then if you just want a la carte coaching for 4 coaching sessions, think about 800. If you do a $10,000 fixed indexed annuity, that'll bring in probably $600. If you do a $15,000, you paid for it. $15,000 to pay for understanding and learning something that very, very few advisors know. I'm telling you what, I waited and waited and waited. I should have learned this when I was young. I didn't learn it until I was 55 years of age. But I'll tell you what, it's made a whale of a difference in my production. There's a saying that says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes. Yeah, if you heard something today that you think, hey, you know what? I'd like to learn Social Security. I like to market. I like to get on the radio. I've heard about it, but I thought it was too expensive. I want to do some face-to-face seminars. If marketing now, be one of the first ones out there getting out and marketing, because people are pent up. I mean, I just talked to a guy that lives real close to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, but he's never seen it as busy. People are ready to get out, and they need Social Security help. So if you heard something, mark yes on this. Scott, go ahead and put the poll up. And on that poll is, if you want more information on Social Security coaching, mark yes. And Dave Corbin is going to give you a call, and he's going to go in and get together with us right there, and we'll get a good time right there on the line of when's a good time for an appointment. And we talk for 15, 20 minutes. But what you want to talk about Social Security from a marketing standpoint, or just understanding the Social Security, just the whole blueprint of Social Security, that's where I can help you. If you want to get in front of more people, there's marketing programs that IAMS pays me to coach you. It's not out of your pocket to get in front of more people. So, Scott, I will turn this over as people are hopefully marking yes on this. And I know a lot of people, as I can see, a lot of people are marking yes. That's great. This is not a long and in-depth. It's not here. I'm trying to twist your arm. Not a bit. I'm just trying to go in and educate as many people in the IAMS kind of operation as I possibly can, because we know if you know Social Security claiming, your production goes up, especially if you have a marketing program that pushes that through. So, Scott, I'll turn it on over to you and see if there's any questions there we need to answer.
Just a couple quick ones. Dave's trying to be bashful here, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a 11 o'clock or about 12 minutes from now appointment that he got off of his radio program today. So I know he's up against the clock. We will be cognizant of your time, Dave. I had one really good question come in here just now. What's the turnaround time? How long would it take somebody that raises their hand right now and says, yes, Dave, coach me up on Social Security, to give their first seminar?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks. Yeah, I mean, have we done it in 4 before? But I think that's really kind of pushing it. But 4 to 5 weeks. That's how long that it takes. Now, once you're up and running, well, no, then we need about a 2.5 or 3 week notice. That's all we need for the next one, because you're just duplicating, unless it's a different area or zip code or town. Yeah, but we do it through Facebook marketing. I tested hard marketing for my entire life, and Facebook's really only come on the last 3 years have I used it, but we did all the demographics on it, and Facebook did better than hard mail marketing and was less expensive. That's how we can do a full-blown workshop, for $2,500, including the coaching on Social Security. Don't let that offer pass. That's just a neat it's just not a lot of money for what you get, and hopefully you get in front of enough people that you can write some pretty serious business also.
Oh, I agree, Dave. I agree. That's a heck of a deal. That being said, Dave, I'm not seeing any other questions come in that we can answer in the group. Did I miss something? Is there something you're seeing that you want to get answered before we get running?
No, I just appreciate everybody being with us today. I mean, it takes, that's almost that's 50 minutes out of your schedule, and time is money. But I think when we talk and we talk about the ins and outs of Social Security and having someone on your side and really coaching you, not mentoring, not, hey, watch what I do and do what I do. No, coaching you through of how to get better and really understand and learn it. I think you'll be pretty amazed at what it will do for your practice. So we're going to sign off here. But again, thank you for taking your time with myself, Dave Pemper, and with Scott Earhart, who heads up all the annuity marketing with IAMS, the FMO out of Omaha, Nebraska. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you all very much. Have a great sales day.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.